Hi guys, it's Lacey again. It's that time of the week. It's time for life groups. This is a safe place where you can just be yourself, let your hair down, enjoy yourself, and enjoy fellowship with God's people. We have enough struggles, things coming against us throughout our weekly basis. Sometimes it's just good to be able to relax and know that people have your best interest at heart, that they're praying for you, that they're here to support you, and that whatever you're going through, you'll be lifted up in prayer and rather than being talked about. So that's what Life Groups is all about. Welcome back again to another week. This was a really great week. We had another opportunity to hear two sermons. Whether or not you heard from Pastor Ron or Pastor John, you heard a great message coming out of the house today. So in this week's discussion, let's just talk about it. Let's talk about what God is doing. Let's talk about maybe some of our struggles, things that we're dealing with. Anxiety is a big one for a lot of people. Last week we talked about intimidation. Let's talk about anxiety this week. Guys, this is something that many of the people in this room, maybe the people that are watching on the webcam groups or in physical meetings, anxiety is a thing that people deal with. Even myself, Pastor Ron got really open and honest about what he dealt with, and I'm sure many of us can very easily relate to him. But one of the great things about anxiety, if it is a great thing, is anxiety is rooted in fear. But having those things coming against us, whether it's anxiety, worries about bills, personal pressures that we all face in life, it's an opportunity to look upward. One of my favorite songs as a little girl it was a hymn, or maybe it was a song that I learned in camp, but it was, "Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of this earth will grow strangely dim." And yes, that's a spiritual practice. That is choosing to magnify the Lord instead of our problems, instead of our circumstances, instead of those things that are bringing us anxiety. Because whether it is physical anxiety or just something that you are worried about not happening, maybe it's something that God has promised you, but you've yet to see it. He doesn't want us to worry about those things because we're not the ones that are making those things happen. He says to focus on him, to be anxious for nothing, but with everything, with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, make our requests known to God. That takes the ball out of our court and puts it in his court. But what is in our sphere of, in our power and in our control is not just what we choose to magnify, but what we choose to do while we're waiting. What are you doing while you're waiting? Are you giving thanks to God? Are you just a little salty, if you would, about what hasn't happened yet? I challenge you to magnify the Lord, magnify the goodness of God, be thankful for what you have already, and go ahead and thank God for what he's promised you. He's promised us all healing. He's promised us all that he will be Jehovah Jireh, our provider. He's promised us great and amazing things. We have to take hold of those and bring them to manifestation through praising him in advance of our blessing. And last but not least, if you have been going through a hard time, if you do find yourself feeling worried about the future, I just want to encourage you that what you have sown in tears, you will reap in joy. God is for you. He is fighting on your behalf. He has great and precious promises for you. Eye has not seen, nor has ear heard, nor has it entered into your heart what God has for you because you love him. If you love God, he's going to be faithful. He is faithful. He will bring it to pass. Everything he's promised to you, he will bring it to pass. He will multiply your life. He will multiply your time, your talent, your resources. If you're faithful to him, if you will stay faithful and continue to focus on him during your period of waiting, it will come to pass. I came to give somebody some encouragement. Hopefully you are encouraged by that. Let's dive into a great conversation. I believe it's going to be a great time of encouragement and magnifying God, rather, what we're going through. I encourage you and bless this conversation. Have an amazing time, and we'll see you next time. God bless.